Hey listeners, it's another Cook Chase podcast. Good to have you around. I'm Gabriel Schenk.
I'm Dan. I'm back again, unfortunately.
You're back. We're recording live from England, which is chaos central. Everyone's looting everything. There's riots. As we're speaking, I'm just looking out at the Hall of London. It's all ablaze. It's very exciting, very awful as well. But don't worry, we're reporting from inside the looting. We're going to keep recording live until we get shut down by the police.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to happen. I got stopped by the police on the way to the office this morning.
Right.
Because I had a hoodie on. But it's raining, you know.
I thought you were circumcised.
Oh, well, they
Oh, sorry.
That came in the strip search that happened later,
Yeah.
but I don't really want to go over that.
Instantly, we've got all this nice new equipment. That's great. So I guess the trust fund from the Rodkin Foundation came through.
Yeah, I've no idea where it came from, but it's all very new and shiny, and I mean...
Sound mixes, we've got all the buffing, all that kind of... We've never had that before.
Yeah, have you seen the leather chairs we've got as well? They're excellent.
Some of these have got names on, like this... Alan Murray, who... It says it belongs to Alan Murray. That's not your name, though, is it?
No, but then I didn't provide this stuff. I presume it must be a relative of Jake or someone like that.
Okay. There's quite a lot of smashed glass around here as well, like as if it's been carried in.
It's all very peculiar, but you know, I'm the kind of guy who, if I come into the Mojo office and there's new equipment, I don't question it.
Well, let's launch into the Cook Chase. Without further ado,
okay, let's go.
We're launching into it. Okay, I always start the Cook Chase with okay, but never mind. There's a Mojo video of the week. Mojo's podcast returning to iTunes, so please subscribe. Please. We're so lonely. And the final item, not much this week, final item is the new iPad version of Puzzle Agent 2. And it's gone cheaper. It's even cheaper. Like, it was actually, like, no money at all, and now it's even less than...
Wow, it's less than $1 for the first Puzzle Agent game.
Yeah, and $1's worth about, like, 5 pence now?
Yeah, it keeps going down. It keeps going down. Although...
It's a sliding scale.
I think we're going to catch the dollar up again shortly after all these riots are finished.
Yeah. Have you played the Puzzle Agent games?
Of course not.
No. Good answer. I haven't either. I actually think maybe if I was going to play another Telltale game, I think I might play Puzzle Agent.
Yeah, if I was going to play a game at this point in time, and I was going to play a Telltale game, it might be Puzzle Agent. Yeah, I actually own the Back to the Future games, but I've only played the first episode.
Right. You see, I like Telltale's earlier stuff more. I mean, Telltale for me are like the Spice Girls.
Right.
You know, the early stuff, they're sticking it to the man. The later stuff, they're sticking it into the man.
Right, and
they're being stuck into by the man. Yeah.
And since Jerry left, they've kind of not been as good.
Just when they all got married, and that's kind of like what Telltale they all got married essentially. I mean, they've got married to the man by making games. The bastards. How dare they make computer games?
Yeah, they make the most games per number of staff.
5 games per minute.
Per sort of weekly cycle. They're setting records every week basically. It's quite impressive.
When the Telltale president Randy Muck Sexy Face came out with the statistic that I'm going to make a game for every minute for every person in the world, we all said can't be done, but he's done it.
He has, and it has to be pointed out that this was with funding from Steve Jobs, who wants it to be that when you're not using your iPad for work, you're using it to play games.
There's a new computer console that's just come out, which is actually replaces your eyeball with a console, so that it feeds directly into your brain.
That sounds great.
It does sound good. It's very convenient. Roger isn't here at the moment. He's gone out for some midnight sales.
He went out with a ski mask on and with a large sack, and he's
Norwegian.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just it's the summer.
That explains everything. He's Norwegian. There's lots of buttons on this new desk that we've got. Might try pressing some of the buttons. Oh!
Crush
No.
the Tingler cable and
Oh no!
returning for the podcast. Yay!
Oh no!
That wasn't expected.
Oh, sorry. I think we might have to return this to the store. That's funny. We don't seem to have any receipts for these items. Anyway,
They'll be in the filing cabinet.
okay.
Which incidentally wasn't here yesterday either.
We should go into our new feature, getting to know you. So, Dan, the man. My question for you is: what was the first LucasArts game you played, and why?
Well, the first LucasArts game I played was Zack McCracken, but I didn't realise I'd never played an adventure game before. It was at a friend's house, and then years later, the first one I intentionally played was The Secret of Monkey Island. And when I got into adventure games, I always thought Zack McCracken must have been kind of an obscure Sierra game because it was contemporary and it looked kind of blocky and pixely. And then when I replayed it in the sort of late 90s, it blew my mind that it was the same game.
Zack McCracken and the Alien Mindbender.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
It's plural.
Or just the Alien Bender, isn't it?
The Extended Bender.
Right. It's a good game. Did you play it in the kind of like the really blocky version? Because there's about 5 different versions of that game, aren't there?
It was on an Amiga, I believe. So
An Amoeba?
An Amoeba. It's a single-celled computer that can only display 16 colours.
It's pretty primitive.
Yeah, but you know, those were the days.
Well, I feel like I know you, a whole new side of you now. Who would have thought it?
Okay.
Do you have a question for me?
I do. I'd like to know which is your favourite LucasArts soundtrack and why.
Outlaws is a really good soundtrack, and I haven't really played Outlaws. I played the demo of it. I'd quite like to play the full game, actually. The soundtrack, I think Bajakian
Yeah, that's right.
did it. It's pretty good. I mean, if you like that kind of music, it's pretty good. Grim Fandango, people rave about all the time. I'm not a huge fan of the Grim Fandango soundtrack, even though I like it in the game.
Oh yeah, it does complement the game fantastically.
It serves a purpose.
Yeah, it's very atmospheric.
What else do I like? Well, obviously the Monkey Island games generally have a good soundtrack, I think.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. I like Curse of Monkey Island soundtrack.
It does sound good.
What else is there? That's about all, isn't it?
The Dig has got... Some people love it and some people hate it.
That's just kind of like...
That's right, yes. It's atmospheric, sort of space ambience.
I liked the way Loom used music, even though it was just the same song again and again. It's a good song.
Yeah, there were lots of little songs with about 4 notes in them throughout the game, but they weren't all kind of particularly toe-tapping tunes.
Speaking of the games, the LucasArts games, there was a heated discussion on the LucasArts forums. Is that what it's called? The Lucas forums. Our forums, basically. If you go on our website...
It's the Mojo forums.
The Mojo forums at Lucas Forums, yeah. If you go on our website, there's a forum link, and there is a discussion about Escape from Monkey Island, because there was a retrospective on a site called Eurogamer, where they basically vilified it. Is that the right word? Vilified?
No.
Unvilified.
Deified, I think.
Deified, yeah. Day of the Tentacle-ified.
Yes.
No, that's something else. And you got stuck in with the line, your review said, Escape from Monkey Island can suck my balls.
Yes, I did say
Surely that's, that's a good thing, isn't it?
I would definitely like the game more if it was giving me sexual pleasure. Yeah, I mean, it's not a secret that I'm not a fan of Escape from Monkey Island. I don't have anything against people who like it, but this is kind of sad, I suppose. Maybe I take this all too seriously, but I can't really get past the fact that they changed so many established things. And
like what? Like the giant monkey robot?
The giant monkey robot's the big one. Herman Toothrot really upset me as well.
But that doesn't Herman Toothrot sort of work? There's like the really convoluted cutscene when they sort of really try very hard to shoehorn it all into the canon.
Sure, it feels like it's been retconned though. It's like when you have to kind of spend sort of 15 minutes outside of the game with graph paper trying to figure out if it could work, then it's not a strong story in my opinion.
I liked all the bits about kind of like Disney and the Australian land developer Rupert Murdoch. That's quite good.
I had a sort of insane theory at one point in time that each of the games was letting the player loose in a different kind of corporate environment, and the first one was kind of wandering around Disneyland, and the first one must have been wandering around Lucasfilm, and the second one was wandering around Disneyland, and the fourth one was back to wandering around LucasArts themselves, because the plot of Escape from Monkey Island actually more closely mirrors what happened to LucasArts than what happened to Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah. Do you think you could ever see Escape from Monkey Island kind of not as the fourth in the series? It's just kind of like its own game, and would that change your opinion of it?
That is kind of how I see it, actually. But then I'm one of those people who not that I believe that Ron Gilbert had a master plan, but I sort of still feel like the first two are the kind of originals, and then there's three sequels and Curse of Monkey Island is very good. It's funny. It's got great.
It's quite dull though.
It's very atmospheric though. I enjoyed it. Escape from Monkey Island feels like a completely misguided game, and Tales of Monkey Island was quite good fun because it incorporated more of the stuff from the first three games that we liked about the games.
Yeah, I really like Tales of Monkey Island, actually. We used to have a series called the LucasArts Secret History series. Very popular.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Well, not really, but, when there's anarchy, when there's looting on the streets, anything goes.
The police are too busy to take care of us at the moment, that's true.
Exactly. It was the reason people visited the site, and we should say that it's hasn't come back because it's such a secret now that we've forgotten where it is. Also, we had to exchange some of the backups with LucasArts in exchange for review copy for Monkey Island 2 Special Edition.
That was the deal that I brokered with them, which was that the impression I got was that they wanted the secret histories removed because they prefer it as just a secret.
Who is working on them? Who's kind of looking after them at LucasArts?
As far as I know, it was said to me by the PR department that it was top men.
What? Who?
Well, that's all they said.
Just top men.
I presumed at the time that they meant George Lucas himself, but perhaps that was foolish.
Oh well, I think that's almost all we've got time for. I keep on meaning to mention something from ages ago. Do you remember when we talked about Paul Franzen?
No, I don't.
The girl with the beard?
Oh, yes, I do.
He's not a girl with a beard at all,
The Xbox Live Indie Games guy.
Yeah. The XLBGAT, the lesbian man.
Yeah.
I only said he was a girl with a beard because he's got long hair.
Right.
He's got a beard. Anyway, he's updated his whole blog. His whole blog byline is described by the Cook Chase podcast as a girl with a beard, and I like the way he's put the Cook Chase podcast as if it's a household name.
Right, yeah, he's going to get a lot of hits to his site of people going like, oh, he listens to he's actually been referenced on the Cook Chase. That's pretty hip.
So thanks for that, Paul. We're a big fan of all your work. I haven't played any of your games.
Hey, but I mean, that puts them in the same standing as Telltale, and we keep reporting news on those guys, so good for you, Paul.
God, they're being really noisy outside, aren't they?
I'm sick of this, to be honest.
I'm gonna tell them to keep it down. Guys, can you keep it down?
No, don't. What are you doing?
Oh no, they're in the house.
Guys, what?
Help!
Look, I'm out of here, guys. Good luck.
I'm being looted.
Good luck with everything.
I'm being looted.
Bye.
They're looting me.